Can you tell from the opening we're going to talk books? This morning we are taking you inside the emergency room. No one ends up in an ER because they want to be there, unless, of course, you're part of the medical team who works there. Our next guest falls under that category. Dr. Brian Goldman has spent 4 decades working in the ER. He's now taking readers back inside an ER shift, hour by hour, in his new book. It is called The Casino Shift. Dr. Goldman, welcome back to the show.
Hi, Lindsay.
So your first book, I mean, that was in 2010. And in the book, you know, you talked about working that 12-hour night shift. This is a casino shift. It is shorter. Tell people what it is exactly.
So a casino shift, borrowed from the casino industry, is a split night shift. You start at 10 a.m., you end around 4. You start at 10 p.m., you end around 4 a.m. And then in many emergency departments, there's somebody who arrives at 4 a.m., bleary-eyed, I guess like you.
Oh, yeah.
And they work until 10 a.m. The idea is that it's less debilitating than working a full-on night shift because you get to sleep 2 or 3 hours in your own bed. In the darkness, and you get a few more hours of light during the day, and it helps keep you, you know, you're sleep deprived, but you're not as discombobulated as you are during night shifts.
Of course. And this idea was first tried out in Halifax, is that right?
That's right.
Yeah, and that was years ago.
Years ago, and it turns out that if you survey physicians who do casino shifts and compare them to night shifts, they don't want to go back. They want to do casino shifts.
And your preference?
Casino shifts.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. When you walk through the doors, just to get a sense of the lay of the land, and you walk through this in the book, when you walk through the doors to go to work, what is the first thing you do?
The first thing that you do is check out the waiting room because, you know, in the first book I talked about, in the night shift I talked about hallway medicine. Now it's waiting room medicine. You don't know how many patients you're going to have in the waiting room. And, you know, there are emergency departments that have 10, 20, 30, 50, 80 patients in the waiting room waiting to be seen. And it's like a needle in a haystack. 4 or 5 of them could go south, could get very sick very quickly, and they're often not the loudest people. They're the quietest people. They may have belly pain, and it turns out they have appendicitis, and then if it perforates, they can go septic, or if they have an ectopic or tubal pregnancy, it can rupture, and you can have a serious situation turn into a catastrophe. So you want to find out what you've got. You want to find out how many stretchers you've got. I have colleagues who arrive for a 6 or 7 a.m. shift with 2 or 3 working stretchers to see every critically ill patient who arrives by ambulance, on foot, or by taxi, by Uber.
Unbelievable. And what was interesting to me, which also stood out from the pages of your book, is you talk about, you know, when you get the call to go in early, the anxiety that happens for you, not knowing what you're going to be faced with on that shift. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Because, well, first of all, you know, we all have our rituals. You know, I have a colleague who used to work permanent night shifts, and he would arrive an hour and a half early and go downstairs to the doctor's office because he wanted to compose himself for an hour and a half. Well, imagine if that's taken away and you're just told, we need you, come on in now. And so you come in, you have to drop whatever you're doing, and so what you have to do is try to compose yourself. You know, we all have different techniques. I do breathing. I do box breathing. And that's how I get myself ready. You try to visualize what you're going to do. And you know, eventually, once you're there, you're okay. The anxiety's gone.
Of course. It's always the anticipation, right? And then you get down to work. Let's talk about technology. I mean, you've been a doctor for decades. It has changed, obviously, over the years, especially recently. And I found it really interesting when you talk about the use of smartphones when you're giving a diagnosis. Talk to me a little bit about how it's changed over the years.
Well, you know, soon we're going to have AI, and we'll have AI scribes that'll come with us into the cubicle beside the patient, and they'll be taking the history for us, or at least they'll be recording the history. But the thing I talk about a lot in the casino shift are these portable ultrasound machines. Now, you might have seen emergency physicians lugging what looks like a laptop on a cart. Well, now I have a probe in my fanny pack that plugs into my smartphone and can deliver crisp images of your heart, your lungs, to see if you've got a fracture, to see if you've got blood in your belly, if you have an aortic aneurysm in your belly that needs to be fixed right away. That's one of the major technological improvements. It enhances your physical examination right there at the bedside, and you can whip it out anywhere.
And how helpful for you. You know, one of the stories that we always talk about here in this country is the lack of doctors, the family physicians for people that don't have access to a family doctor. You went to Denmark last January.
Yep.
You say in Denmark, 98% of people have family doctors. What are they doing right? What can we take from, what lesson can we learn from them?
Well, I think the most important thing is that they have something called mandatory enrollments. You know, when your kids reach school age, they know what school they're going to. You know what school they're going to because of mandatory enrollment. If you had mandatory enrollment with GPs, that's what they call their family physicians, then right on their equivalent of a social insurance card, right there, the name of your physician is written. You don't have to go searching for one. Do you know people who have said, you know, my family physician retired, they died, they moved away.
Of course.
Do you have a new one? You don't have to look for a new one. They provide one for you. Now, of course, you pay for it in taxes. They also have team-based medicine. So they have midwives doing well baby care, doing routine gynecology, and of course, prenatal, postnatal care. And they're all working seamlessly in a team of registered dietitians, students, residents, social workers, physiotherapists, occupational therapists, and you know, we have some of that in Canada, but we need a lot more of it.
Well, and the point of you know, me asking you that is because one of the issues that you bring up in the book, a lot of people that end up in the ER could have been treated by a family physician.
That's right. Something like 6 million Canadians are looking for a family doctor, and many more can't get a timely appointment if they wanted one.
Dr. Brian Goldman, thank you for being here. We really appreciate it.
I enjoyed it.
A reminder that Dr. Goldman's new book, it is called The Casino Shift, Stories from an ER on the Edge.
If you like that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.